Stocks drift lower after strong start as Trump lifts. The specter of tariffs and domestic growth concerns linger. Realty and IT stocks gain, while auto, utilities and healthcare drag. CNBC-TV18 learns that the cabinet has given its assent to waiving bank guarantees for spectrum awarded before 2022. The move is a significant relief for Voda Idea and a positive for Bharti Airtel. Telecom stocks gain. Food delivery to QCOM major Zomato floats $1 billion QIP to beef up its cash reserves as competition heats up. The offer is indicatively priced at a significant discount to the current price. CNBC-TV18 learns the government is aiming to raise the FDI cap in insurance to 100% from 74% and may introduce amendments to the insurance bill in this session of the parliament to permit composite licenses. Eknath Shinde resigns as the Maharashtra Chief Minister to continue as the caretaker CM until a government is sworn in. Suspense continues over who will be the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Hello and welcome to Business Lunch. I'm Sonal Bhutra and those are the top headlines that we are tracking for you at lunch hour. For the markets, it's a sharp fall from the highs that we have seen. Closer to the day's low, the Nifty is down around 53 points. We do have the mid-caps which are outperforming, but overall, the markets have treaded down from the highs that we opened today as well. Couple of stocks which are on our radar, we'll discuss that in greater detail during the course of the show. But the Nifty, it's down almost around 170 points from the highs of the day. Banking index is the one which is leading to those losses to some extent. So that index is down around 80 points as we speak. The other laggards that we are seeing in the trade today, the pharma index, the energy space and the auto space. The private banking index is also lower, and these were some of the big movers yesterday. The PSU banking index, for instance, that was doing well yesterday, but today it has come in for some cuts in the trading day. But with that, let's move on to the first story that we are tracking. Sources to CNBC-TV18 suggest FDI cap on insurance sector will likely be raised to 100% from the earlier 74%. Sapna Das is joining us with the details. Sapna?
Well, it is likely the government, may like to bring some amendments to the insurance bill, and that would be in relationship to the raising of the FDI cap from the current 74% to the 100%. Now, these are proposals that have been discussed in the past as well, and it may just be feasible that the ongoing winter session of the Parliament may see some action on this front. Having said that, the sense that we are being given is that probably global investors would be interested in coming in with a full 100% ownership, maybe even singly. So keeping that in mind, I think there would be a bit of messaging on the part of the government also in terms of giving a boost to the entire insurance sector. Second aspect, of course, could be possible that the insurance amendment bill may also incorporate proposal of composite licensing for the insurance companies. Now, there has been a lot of discussion on this in the past as well. 2 odd years, the regulator also has played a very important role on this front. So that might also see some light of the day. Last but not the least, insurance agents or intermediaries, where the FDI cap already has been raised, but they are unable to sell multiple policies or multiple companies, probably that relaxation will also come in. Of course, we need to wait and watch and see what other delegated legislation could follow once the amendments have been cleared by the cabinet and the bill has been brought to the parliament. But this is what the position is as of now.
All right, Sapna, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. But what does the insurance amendment bill bring? And why is it the boldest reform in India's insurance sector? Yash is joining us with more details. Yash?
Well, Sonal, certainly the boldest reform in the history of insurance sector in India. That's because it just changes the dynamics of how the sector has been operating all these years. There are 5 key changes which the insurance amendment bill brings, if at all it gets approved in the winter session of the parliament. The first one, as Sapna was also pointing out, composite insurance license. Now, composite insurance license allows cross-entry of insurers into each other's space. Essentially, life insurance companies being allowed to sell health insurance products or any other general insurance category products like motor insurance. At the same time, general or health insurance companies being allowed to sell life insurance products. The second one is distribution of other financial products. Insurance companies being allowed to sell or distribute other financial products like mutual funds, like bank deposits, FDs, loans. This opens up new streams of revenue in terms of fee income or commission income for insurance companies. The third one is reduction of minimum capital to start an insurance business. Currently, if any entity wants to start an insurance business, it has to bring an initial capital of 100 crore and 200 crore for reinsurance business. That could be reduced. It could be different for different insurance companies, different entities, depending on the size of the business that they want to start. The fourth one is captive insurance licenses. Now, this is for conglomerates. If they want to start their own captive insurance business for their own employees or the entities or the employees of their subsidiaries, they could do so with this particular license. Fifth one is relaxing investment regulations. Insurance companies right now are only allowed to invest up to 15% of their AUM into equity market. Now the call could be with the regulator in terms of allowing request of increasing the equity investments or investment in any other categories on a case-to-case basis.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Yash, for joining in and explaining what this would mean if it actually comes by. That's about the insurance space. The stocks are on our radar today. But let's move on. The Union Cabinet has approved a waiver of bank guarantees for telcos, which is expected to reduce the financial burden for these companies. Ashmit is joining us with more details on this one. Ashmit.
Well, big relief coming in for all telecom players. Cabinet approving the decision to grant a waiver for all bank guarantee requirements. A big relief coming in for all telecom players, for Vodafone Idea to be specific. So what is this relief that has been granted? What does it translate into? Well, bear in mind that in 2021, the government had made a decision that for all subsequent auctions, there would be no requirement by telecom companies to furnish a bank guarantee. So whether that's 2022 spectrum auctions, 2024 spectrum auctions, no bank guarantees were required. Now, subsequently, a demand fell from the industry that if the government was open to the idea of waiving off of bank guarantees, why not waive it entirely, even for pre-2022 spectrum auctions? And that is something that, in fact, found traction with the DoT. The DoT had prepared a cabinet note, sent it, placed it before the cabinet, and late last evening, we understand, the cabinet has granted its approval for waiving off of bank guarantee requirements even for pre-2022 spectrum. Now, this comes as a huge relief, especially for players like Vodafone Idea, that were looking at bank guarantees north of 25,000 crore rupees, looking at liquidity issues. They're able to get relief on that. But just to clarify, this is not a company-specific measure. This relief that has been granted is across the sector for all players. Jio as well as Bharti Airtel also likely to benefit, but not as much as, of course, Vodafone Idea.
Okay, yes, big move on Vodafone Idea, though it has come off from the highs of the day. But thank you so much, Ashmit, for joining in with all these details. Moving on from insurance to telecom, now let's talk about the auto sector, because we are getting mixed signals coming in the month of November, with two-wheeler sales growing strongly while passenger vehicle sales remain under pressure. So Darshan is here with the breakdown and the summary of retail sales data for November so far.
So it's the Vahan registration data, the all-important numbers that all the companies have been talking about. If you remember, after the Q2 results, most companies in their commentary did mention about that more than wholesales, the numbers that matter the most are retail sales. And taking the cues from there, we have here tried to analyze the Vahan registration data for the month of November. Let's see what those numbers indicate. In a nutshell, on the demand perspective, it's a continuation of what we saw in the month of October. Two-wheelers remain the biggest outperformer, followed by tractors, whereas demand for passenger and commercial vehicles remains muted. Now let's come to the numbers, and before we talk about that, do remember the comparison numbers are for the entire month, whereas for this month, the data is for 25 days so far. So starting with two-wheelers, the pickup in rural demand seems to be reflecting in the numbers of Hero MotoCorp. Total registrations for Hero MotoCorp have already surpassed the numbers of October and are just 3% lower than November 2023. For TVS Motor and Bajaj too, the registration details are looking healthy, and the numbers are already at par with what we saw last month and are down just 4% and 11% respectively against November 2023. Royal Enfield, while it's currently underperformer amongst two-wheelers, but the data of last few months indicates that Royal Enfield sees a surge in registrations during the last few days of the month. The next in the list are tractor segment. Here too, registration trends are looking healthy with 5 days to go in this month. For M&M tractor, registrations are down less than 10% both month-on-month and year-on-year. And for Escorts, the decline is slightly steeper in comparison to M&M. It's down in the range of 15 to 17%. Shifting to the segments where demand concerns remain are passenger and commercial vehicles. With only 5 days to go this month, most companies are seeing sharply lower registrations. The numbers are down in the range of 40 to 52% month-on-month and are down 21 to 40% year-on-year, with Maruti and Tata Motors looking the weakest. Before ending, it's important to remember that the comparison numbers both month-on-month and year-on-year cover the full month, while the current data for November represents only 25 days. This gap means significant changes could still occur in the remaining days of the month.
All right, Sudarshan, thank you so much for explaining what is happening in the auto industry in the month of November. With that, we'll slip into a break now. Eknath Shinde resigns as the Maharashtra Chief Minister. There's a suspense over who the next CM will be. That continues. We get you more updates on the other side. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18. Let's now bring you some news from the government formation process in Maharashtra. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, along with his deputies Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar, they have reached the Raj Bhavan in Mumbai to submit their resignation. Sandhya is joining us now with more details on what happened, what's next. A lot of suspense here. Sandhya.
See, Sonal, we all knew that if the mandate wasn't as decisive as it is right now, this was bound to happen. But with such a decisive mandate and with a clear majority to a single party, this kind of confusion, this can only happen in Maharashtra. So the results were out on 23rd of November. Right now we are outside Raj Bhavan, and today morning both the DCMs along with the CM of the state, they came here and they tendered their resignation, because today is the day when the term of Maharashtra's assembly ends. So as per the procedure, it was the routine procedure, all the three stakeholders here, the CM and both the DCMs, they tendered their resignation. Now, ideally, the swearing-in ceremony for the new government should happen as soon as possible, because remember, as per the procedure, after the term of assembly ends, it's the president rule. That's the next step. But because this time the confusion is not as massive as it was in 2019, so in all likelihood, more time will be borrowed. So the possibility of president rule is not as high as it was in 2019, but the confusion prevails. Now, what has happened is Mahayuti, which has received a clear mandate, and that too BJP, which has emerged as the single largest party once again. BJP and RSS, obviously, they both want the next CM to be from BJP. Devendra Fadnavis is the front runner. But at the same time, Eknath Shinde, who was the chief minister for the last 2.5 years, as per the sources, he is not ready to withdraw his claims as the chief minister. But on the other hand, Ajit Pawar has agreed to Devendra Fadnavis' name as the next CM of Maharashtra. What exactly is going to happen? We might have to wait for some more days. It is expected that all the three stakeholders once again will go to Delhi. The decision will be taken in Delhi. In fact, yesterday both Devendra Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde went to Delhi. A meeting happened. Now, when will all these three parties announce the next CM? That remains to be seen. But the term of Maharashtra's assembly ended today.
Okay, yes, that is the big story that we are tracking. Thank you, Sandhya, for bringing us all those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more, because right now there's suspense, but soon we'll know who will be the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. That's about India. Let's talk about international updates now. President-elect Trump has decided to double down on old foes, Mexico and Canada, with new trade tariffs of 25% on all products coming into the US, while also sticking true to his campaign pledge. Threatening China with higher tariffs hikes, the president-elect posted the announcement on his social media platform, Truth Social, pledging to keep it into effect to address the drug trafficking and border crossing issue from Mexico and Canada, while he threatens China with a 10% hike on current tariffs to curtail goods coming into the United States. All right, so this is an important international story. We'll keep tracking that for you for more updates. But we'll slip into a break now. When we return, Israel and Lebanon are set to reach a ceasefire deal today. Updates follow after the break. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch. Well, the Indian Parliament today marked the 75th year of Constitution. President Draupadi Murmu addressed a joint sitting of both houses at the Central Hall of the old Parliament building. She also released translated versions of the Constitution in Sanskrit and Maithili. In her address, she called the Constitution a live, progressive document that continues to guide the nation. Let's move on now to the latest from the ongoing West Asia conflict. Israel's cabinet is expected to vote on a Lebanon ceasefire deal today. This is a plan that has been approved by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in principle. Israeli Security Cabinet is set to meet later today to discuss the finer details of the deal and provide formal approval. But Israel and Hezbollah continue to exchange rocket fires on a daily basis, and Israel maintains its goal of eradicating Hezbollah. Okay, those are some international updates. But as we wrap on this edition of Business Lunch, we leave you with visuals from New York, where Indian stars strut the red carpet of the 52nd Annual International Emmys. Actor and comedian Veer Das charts history as the first Indian to host the Emmy Awards, while actor Aditya Roy Kapoor was spotted on the red carpet after drama series The Night Manager was nominated for Best Drama Series.